These battles have got me fired up.
Fire Dragon Brilliant Flash! Fire Dragon Spear Demon Law!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we are counting down our picks for the top 10 fairy tale fights.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we'll be looking at the magical brawls that make this anime such a delight to watch. As you can expect, get ready to see the members of the Fairy Tale Guild kick a colossal amount of ass, with a fair amount of spoilers along the way. I'm Todd Habercorn, the voice of Natsu Dragneel, and it continues to be an amazing journey that I'm thrilled to be on with everyone in the show. From Tyler Walker, the director, writer, producer, to Jeremy, Lucy, Tia, Happy, Colleen, Ezra, and Gray, Newton. Congrats to Kyle Phillips, who is taking over the directing on this final season. And last but not least, thank you to every one of you who continue to support us on this magical animated adventure.
Let's get ready to mojo!
Bring us back a souvenir!
Number 10, Natsu and Gajiel versus Loxus. It looks like everybody's getting along just fine to me. How do you expect to become our master if you can't get along with the rest of us? Nothing brings people together quite like the threat of imminent electrocution. Let me take care of Loxus, okay? You stay out of this!
No deal. I got a score to settle with that punk.
With Loxus going through a rather destructive, rebellious phase, it's down to the two former enemy dragon slayers to put aside their stubbornness and win the day.
Fire Dragon! Iron Dragon! Roar!
Loxus certainly brings the thunder, but it's still not enough to stop Natsu from showing him just how strong a rookie mage can be when he's got the undying support of his guild. All in all, Loxus just needed a bit of tough love, with a lot of fire thrown into the mix and a couple of punches and maybe some sandaled kicks. Just tough love. Number 9, Ezra versus Kagura versus Minerva.
Heaven's Wheel! Pentagram Sword! Grudge Sword! Arch Enemy! Blast Sword!
Why have just 2 femme fatales when you can make it a hat trick? Especially if Urza Scarlet is involved. This 3-way face-off sees everyone's favorite armor-switching battle maiden clash swords at light speed with the fearsome warrior Kagura, only for Minerva to drop in and show off her own fearsome magic.
You're running from a fight you interrupted, and you call yourself a queen!
A true queen arranges the pawns to suit her strategy.
From there, Urza finds herself engaged in a brutal onslaught, where not only does she have to deal with the sorrowful past shared between herself and Kagura, but also best Minerva's underhanded tactics. Of course, Urza wouldn't be Urza if she didn't manage to overcome them both.
Kagami! Starlight!
Number 8, Natsu versus Zero.
Devour him! Do it for the sake of your master!
The boss of Horatio Sace may have been riding that whole reduce the world to nothingness trope pretty hard, but one thing's for sure, he was no pushover. His mission to obtain Nirvana ended up throwing Fairy Tail into chaos. This proved to be a fatal mistake, since he soon found himself cornered with a less than pleased Natsu, who just so happened to be infused with the power of Dragon Force.
This boy is a true Dragon Slayer.
Despite Zero's best efforts, not even his inescapable darkness was enough to slow down Natsu, who proceeded to tear him to pieces with absolute ferocity. Think angry Chihuahua who's been denied his dinner. Number 7, Urza versus Azuma.
Now, are you going to give me the fight I want or not? Make your decision.
I don't really have a choice in the matter, do I?
One of the strongest members of the Seven Kin of Purgatory, this particular lackey of the villainous Hades turned out to be one tough nut to crack, since he was able to take out guild members left, right, and center. No surprise that the one to finally put him in his place was none other than Titania herself. though even that was easier said than done, since Azuma was able to harness the power of all Tenro Island for himself, almost managing to overwhelm Urza in the process. Of course, her unwillingness to lay down and die soon turned things around, managing to launch a comeback so impressive that even the island itself backed her up.
Well done.
Number 6, Natsu and Gajiel versus Sting and Rogue. By far the highlight of the Grand Magic Games, this battle between 4 Dragon Slayers showed why even after a 7-year absence, Fairy Tail was still the guild to beat. Despite Sting and Rogue boasting some impressive powers of their own, they still weren't able to compare to Gajiel and Natsu's mastery of their respective elements.
Fire Dragon! Sword! Iron Dragon!
Heck, not even the likes of a Unison Raid was able to put out Natsu's flame, leaving Sabretooth's best and brightest burnt out by the fight's end.
Flame Lotus! Exploding Flame!
The only one who ended up worse for wear is Gajiel, who got shafted on all the glory. Hashtag sorry not sorry.
Hey, wait! What the crap?
Number 5, Wendy versus Ezel.
I was hoping to have a feast. Well, looks like the joke's on me.
Aw, our little princess is all grown up into a dragon slayer who can decimate a demon with her bare hands. While trying to stop the forces of Tartaros, Wendy finds herself facing off against a member of the 9 Demon Gates, one who is way too eager to chop her into pieces. With her beloved friend Carla down for the count, Wendy rises to the challenge, managing to tap into the power of Dragon Force. Needless to say, Ezel doesn't last very long when this pint-sized pink hurricane steps up her game. Number 4, Natsu versus Jalal.
I didn't spend years building this tower just to have some punk tear it down! I won't let you!
Turns out that if you end up making his friends cry, get ready for a homicide. 'Cause no amount of magic, subordinates, or towers of heaven are gonna be enough to spare you from Natsu's rage. In order to save Urza, Natsu pretty much decides to say screw it and ends up unleashing the power of Dragon Force for the very first time. Given the amount of crap that Jalal has put everyone through, it was oh so cathartic to see the smug bastard get sent crashing through his precious tower. Okay.
You can do it, Jalal! Free yourself!
Natsu has smacked down a number of mages in his time, but this one is definitely one of the most brutal.
The true form of the Dragon Slayer.
Number 3, Natsu versus Gajiel. Nowadays, we all know that these two scoundrels get along like a house on fire. And by that we mean they never hesitate to try and burn one another to a crisp. But it wasn't always sunshine and smiles. Back in the day, Gajiel wasn't so much a bad boy as he was a bona fide attack dog, acting on Phantom Lord's behalf.
Are you ready, Fairy?
He's changing! Dragon skills!
After roughing up his guild mates and kidnapping Lucy, Natsu was more than happy to test his flame against Gajiel's steel. In the end, Levy's future boyfriend just wasn't hard enough to withstand a full-on fiery beatdown, courtesy of Salamander.
This is for attacking him and destroying our guild hall!
Number 2. Natsu and Gray versus Mard Gear.
Now it's time for you to freeze! Right after you burn!
The definitive demon, ruler of Tartaros, one of Zarev's most powerful creations, Mard Gear was the full package. That being said, even he wasn't ready for the full force of Natsu and Gray's unbridled, half-naked teamwork. He sure put up a hell of a fight, though, managing to overcome their fire and ice before seemingly tearing them asunder inside of his memento mori. Too bad for him that Gray decided to let his inner demon out of the bag, with Natsu really turning up the heat by once again busting out the Dragon Force. Bromance wins the day again. Boom!
Ice Demon, zero destruction bow!
Before we reveal our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Perfect timing.
I will take great joy in making you pay. Don't you see I've already paid my price? All I care about is destroying you.
Number 1, Fairy Tail versus Hades.
I've got a message from Makarov! Jump on it!
With his mastery over ancient magics, the leader of Grimoire Heart and former master of Fairy Tail proved to be one of the series' deadliest villains. So much so that it required the combined efforts of all of the guild's major players in order to kick him to the curb. With Natsu, Gray, Urza, Lucy, Wendy, and even Loxus stepping up to the plate, we were given no shortage of sorcery-filled showdowns as they all banded together to avenge their beloved Gramps.
Now say goodbye!
I think I speak for everyone when I say the standout was undoubtedly
Lightning Flame Dragon Mode! Lightning Flame!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.